I'm most excited for this one.
Hell yeah, man. Like, where's the eye patch?
He's so grizzled. And where is he standing right now? He's in some nice sunny warehouse, and they're like, hey, Nick.
I don't want to look at the sun. Even though I don't got my eye patch in, and that would be really convenient right now.
And that is the question. Where's that eye patch? Maybe he's like, who took my eye patch? First they take my shoes, then they take my eye patch.
It's like,
this is
Goose, where's Goose? He took my eye patch. Where's my
goose took your eye
goose?
Patch? I'm the best goose you're ever gonna get. I'm trying not to do accents of these actors because it just doesn't sound right when I try to do accents. So I'm just saying the text as is. That's the proper way I should do it, I think.
Let's hear your Chris Tucker, Eric.
No, thank you. Please don't ever touch my radio.
Amazing. It's like he's here with us.
It's so authentic. Welcome back to New Rockstars. Marvel's Secret Invasion is coming, with reports of production taking place in Leeds in the UK in the past week, meaning this may actually be a title we see on Disney Plus by the end of 2022. Who is Emilia Clarke playing on this series? How many MCU characters will cross over into it? And who is secretly a Skrull? What the flirkin'? This is Inside Marvel. It's our weekly Marvel reaction show. I'm Erik Voss. I'm back this week with MT. Hello, MT.
What's going on, buddy? Question. Are you a Skrull, my friend? I have to ask. I have to just ask generally everybody.
I'm never going to reveal the answer to that question because even if I said I was, I'd be like, I'm not the werewolf. I'm not the werewolf. And they'd say, look at him. He's the freaking Skrull. So all I'll say is I did not get a call from Talos.
I didn't get a call from Talos, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I didn't get a call. If I look and sound different to the viewers right now, it's because I'm actually in a new setup. I moved this past weekend. So I have a new room that I'm trying to set up, a new camera that I'm looking through while I set up a prompter. So forgive me if I just sound a little awkward or if I'm looking down every now and then. It doesn't mean I love you any less. It just means that I'm technically incapable, and I'm technically incapable of doing a lot of things, but we won't get into that.
That's not true. You lie. You lie.
Well, there's a certain level of intimacy you and I have not yet reached, so you can't really speak from experience there.
This is true. Soon. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. That's really creepy. My fingers are too long to do something like this.
As far as I know, this guy doesn't need any Blue Chew. That's what MT's thinking right now, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know how. We're already off the rails. In this episode, the Skrull Surge is back on, ladies and gentlemen. As new information is starting to come out about Marvel's Secret Invasion, we're going to break down everything about this upcoming series. But first, a little announcement we want to remind you guys about. New Rockstars, folks, friends, followers, people vaguely interested in us that might live in the Chicagoland area, you will be able to see me and Jessica Clemens and Tommy Bechtold and Philip Molina live in person on February 11th, I believe at 8 p.m. New Rockstars is doing a live show with our friends at Rooster Teeth and the Face Jam podcast at Talia Hall in Chicago as part of the Very Normal Podcast Store. And it's going to be a really, really fun show. We're going to be real silly. We're going to be doing something different, things that you don't normally see on the channel. We're going to talk about live in person. Yeah, it'll be just nice to see anybody who shows up, just to meet you potentially. So click the link in the video's description or check our New Rockstars social media accounts for the ticket info there. But MT, what is our question in this episode of Inside Marvel?
Well, Eric, what the flirkin' are the latest new details about Marvel's Secret Invasion?
Yes. Well, just a quick reminder to our viewers who may not be currently up to date on Marvel's Secret Invasion. It's one of the big Marvel crossover events in the comics. It was around 2008, 2009, in which it is revealed that alien shapeshifters, the Skrulls, have infiltrated the ranks of all of Earth's institutions, including the Avengers. And it leads all of us to ask the question, who do you trust?
Dun, dun, dun. Don't trust anyone, not even your mom.
Don't trust the poor grammar of this question, because it should be whom, not who. But that's okay.
Whom do you trust? Whom is Gamora?
Ryan used me as an object. Well, I gotta say, when they announced that they were gonna do this as a miniseries, I was a bit surprised because it's such a big event. It's up there, you know, with Civil War, I would say. It comes shortly after
Absolutely.
Civil War. But at the end of the day, I think this is the best way to do it. In fact, I think more of these Marvel titles should be 6-episode miniseries. It gives us more time to spend with all the characters, to tease the mysteries, to let the reveals surprise us, to like spend 2 months talking about it. I honestly think like Eternals would have benefited from being a 6-episode miniseries.
Absolutely. You know? I would love to spend 6 episodes with all those guys because that was such a huge ensemble of heroes.
Yeah. The more characters you have, the more stacked your cast is, the more you want to spend time with them, right? Mm-hmm. So in terms of the production process on this show, we saw this teaser early November, right, during Marvel's Disney Plus Day. But just that shot of Nick Fury was the only official thing released other than the title card. They've been shooting in the UK in the past few months. They shot in London in September and October, and production for Secret Invasion has resumed in the UK in recent days in the city of Leeds, where you could see Nick Fury and Emilia Clarke being spotted around the city. And then next week, production is expected to move on to Halifax at Peace Hall. Ooh. Now, I should say there's nothing particularly groundbreaking about the new footage, but we do see Fury has a bearded, grizzled look and no eye patch. I'm just super pumped, MT, to see this series moving forward, just to potentially see a trailer in the next couple months, hopefully a late 2022 release date. Now, Emilia Clarke is an interesting casting choice for this series because she joins an all-star cast that also includes Kingsley Ben-Adir, who's going to be playing a lead villain of the show, Olivia Colman in some unknown role, and of course, our friends Samuel L. Jackson, Cobie Smulders as Maria Hill, Ben Mendelsohn returning as Talos, and this far, I think this is the most stacked cast we have ever seen on a Marvel Disney Plus series. Am I wrong, MT?
Just by having Sam Jackson alone, that's pretty stacked on a Disney Plus show.
That's just Sam Jackson alone in that weird warehouse staring at the wall hearing ghosts. I would watch 6 episodes of that.
He's like, do you mind?
Who do you trust?
He's like, why are you looking at me? Do you mind? He looks annoyed that we're watching him. He's like, I guess.
Man, why doesn't he just start streaming on YouTube right now?
Seriously, like, why are you not streaming Fortnite right now, Nick Fury, with New Masters 69? What's going on?
Well, Emilia Clarke's character, a lot of us are wondering that she could be playing the Skrull Varanki, who is the chief villain in the Secret Invasion event in the comics. It was revealed that Varanki had been posing as Spider-Woman Jessica Drew for several years. Now, Jessica Drew is technically, of course, a Sony property, so I don't know if she could exist on this Marvel Disney Plus show. But I do think Emilia Clarke could just be playing Varanki nonetheless, taking some other human form in this universe. Now, others are speculating that Emilia Clarke could be Abigail Brand, a director of S.W.O.R.D., since we met S.W.O.R.D. in WandaVision, and Monica Rambeau had those connections with S.W.O.R.D. We're not sure if Nick Fury was connected to S.W.O.R.D. because we saw him on that Skrull space station at the end. S.W.O.R.D. could have an off-planet division that they cooperate with the Skrulls. We just weren't really clear where Director Hayward would stand on that, if he knew about that division, if it was kept secret even from him, that it was some kind of like backup Nick Fury protocol deal that he had with Abigail Brand. But I honestly think Olivia Colman would be a really great casting choice for Abigail Brand.
Absolutely.
That's just my headcanon casting.
I like it. I dig your headcanon, bro.
Now, last week, MT and I for Inside Marvel checked in on Marvel's mutant plan, heading into Multiverse of Madness on the other side of Eternals and Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I want to talk about what their Skrull plan is after we've seen all these titles. So after the recent titles from late 2021, MT, who do you think is going to be most likely revealed as a Skrull imposter or someone who might have a Skrull duplicate the way Fury and Hill did? And some of the times we saw them over the past history that we were actually seeing their Skrulls. Who do you think will be revealed? Who do you think will be the most shocking major player in the MCU to be revealed as a Skrull?
See, that's the big question, man. You can't trust anybody because they could just wreck on anybody as a Skrull. I think for me, a huge shocking main player in the MCU that could be a Skrull is General Ross. And well, actually both Rosses. Both Everett Ross and General Ross. I think it'd be a huge, like, oh my God, for Everett Ross, like, we trusted you. Like, we invited you into Wakanda and you betrayed us. How could you do that? But for General Ross, it'd be like, oh dang, they're really infiltrated because now they're leading the military and like making decisions and like, oh my God, like this man could potentially be president. Maybe, but like, with Red Hulk being set up, possibly that's not something that they're doing, but like, it would be nuts. Yeah.
I agree, MT. I think you're looking in the right place, right? In terms of the MCU, I have a suspicion that they are not going to reveal major, already superpowered individuals as Skrulls, having already been Skrulls. Yes, they may get swapped with Skrulls as a result of the series, but sorcerers, Asgardians, I think there are there are such thing as super Skrulls, right? Where Skrulls can inhabit the personality, the characteristics, and the powers of the person they impersonate. But I think that's like a step too far. I think it's already going to be mind-blowing enough to have people who we thought we knew transform into this green-skinned extraterrestrial. So the fact that you're looking at government employees that otherwise don't really seem to have superpowers, but might have some like historical irregularities, we should say. With Thunderbolt Ross and Black Widow, we're seeing more in these deleted scenes for Black Widow that he just kind of had this history where he just disappeared. He chalked it up to having heart problems and having to have triple bypass surgeries. But the fact that they're both where they are in the government, I think those are going to be the kind of people who Marvel reveals as having been Skrulls, because that kind of has the biggest shock value.
Oh yeah, sort of like Winter Soldier.
Yes, exactly. So I think, government employees, I think people who we have been with in the MCU for a long time, you got to have at least one legacy MCU character who's there since phase 1 or early phase 2. And I think it's also interesting to look at people who have like weirdly technical insights that normal human beings through our American K through 12 education and even MIT instruction that they have. That was one of the things that always weirded me out about Tony Stark and Howard Stark.
I found this on the web.
Oh, jeez, sorry.
Howard Stark is like, you're talking about me?
He's my ears are burning. But I mean, that could just chalk it up to the Stark personality, the Stark intelligence, and that's just there. But yeah, I think it's going to be like a mix of government employees, some people who we've been with in the MCU for a long time, and then whoever the goofy side characters are in the MCU. So the ones who make my list are the Rosses, right? Thunderbolt and Everett Ross. As well as, I think Hank Pym is a prime candidate.
Ooh, that's a big one, bro. Dang.
He was one of the big ones at the beginning of the Secret Invasion comics. It's him, it's Reed Richards. They turn on each other. Hank Pym has been revealed as a Skrull. I don't think that would like destabilize too many things. It might make Quantumania a bit weird, but I don't think it would break anything, Quantumania. Yeah, we already know about Maria Hill and Fury. Already had Skrull duplicates who they worked with. After seeing Eternals, what do you think about Karun being a Skrull?
My heart would be broken. My heart would be shattered. I would trust no one. Literally, I would have trust issues for the rest of my life because he's just so trustworthy. He just like that when he was saying goodbye to the Eternals. He's like, "Thank you so much. Like this was amazing." And like I was like, please, like that seemed so genuine. So if he was a Skrull, I would fight. I would fight I just fight something. My furniture, my wall. I would just be very
MT,
angry.
you and I have a different interpretation of it though, because if you were revealed as a Skrull, he's still a very nice person and a very nice individual. And I think the way I would see it as that would explain why he was less freaked out by Kingo and these other Eternals, and he just kind of went with it, walking on board a spaceship. And then at the end, he said, "Thank you for everything you've done for this planet." I think that's his mission as a Skrull in disguise. He's embedded in these places to try to do good. I imagine these versions of Skrulls as like kind of like Peace Corps volunteers. They're on this planet just trying to help us out and protect us against this imperialist Kree empire. The Skrulls are the good guys. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some bad Skrulls. There's going to be like, that's what's going to destabilize this peace that we've had, is there's going to be some terrorist Skrulls, and all the Skrulls we know are going to be like, they're not us. That's a different group. They're crazy. They sit at a different table than us. We don't know them. So, yeah, I think definitely there. Do we think either a Wakandan, like there must be someone in Wakanda who is a Skrull, if they really are all over the world. Maybe someone in the Black Widow crew, like someone we saw either in the Widow organization. Do you think it's likelier that one of the Widow assassins could be a Skrull or one of the people of Wakanda?
Anybody? I mean, I think both. I think that the Skrulls are everywhere, and the Widows would be a fantastic place for the Skrulls to be because, you know, if a young female Skrull was taken as a child and is raised up to be a widow, it would make sense for these people to want to spread out and infiltrate with the infiltrators, I guess, with the widows. And it's like, that is like the ultimate secret agent. It's like, I'm a double agent sort of vibe. So yeah, it would make sense for there to be Skrulls embedded in the widows. Wakanda. And like, absolutely. I think that like the best thing about Secret Invasion is like the feeling of like no one is safe, or like you don't know where they could be literally anywhere. Like cockroaches. Even though we shouldn't call Skrulls cockroaches because they're nice
They're
people.
not. They're good. It's not an infestation. They've been helping us for years.
Get out of my planet!
Like, I doubt it'll be like a major Wakandan player, like not Okoye, but maybe someone in the Dora Milaje guard.
Oh yeah, like
we might have a line like we saw in the Falcon Winter Soldier where some Dora Milaje show up and they go, "Yes, we just found out 3 of our guards were Skrulls." Mm-hmm. It's awkward.
Like even like people on the council in Wakanda, like that would be nuts if like one of like a person on the council was like, "Hey, sorry." Just kidding. Just a Skrull the entire time.
Now, coming out of No Way Home, I was fully expecting going into No Way Home that they were going to make us think that Aunt May was going to die, and then they would kill off Happy Hogan. But no, Happy Hogan was left alive. And I've always wondered, like, Jon Favreau seems like the kind of guy who would be totally down to wear that Skrull makeup. And he 100%. Is one of these guys that it's kind of like what Jarvis was in the Secret Invasion comics, where Jarvis suddenly was revealed as a Skrull. Just like, you? Here with me this whole time? Like, I think I would love that if they revealed Favreau as a Skrull. And that would be like a high profile face who is in a ton of the movies. That'd that nice. Might be the one where everyone's like, him? So I've always suspected that he might. I haven't always suspected, but in recent months I've been suspecting this.
Maybe like that. Maybe Aunt May figured it out, and like she walked in on him being a Skrull, and she just broke up with him. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna break up with you. I don't really know what's going on, but like I'm just gonna be nice. I'm just gonna break up with you. I like you as a person.
It's just like when we slept together, you made this weird extraterrestrial scream. Like gills opened up behind your ears and mist sprayed out. I don't know what that was about.
You said something about flirk me. I don't know what a flirk is. I don't really want that. And
for that reason, I'm out.
Welcome to Flirk Tank.
I wanted to ask you about Val. We never really got answers about Val, other than that she's connected, it sounds like, with Eleanor Bishop, perhaps Kingpin from Hawkeye. But we don't really know what her abilities are. And I've always suspected that she has some kind of connections either with the mystic arts or with people from off-world, because she knows things about the Avengers conflict that normal people, even shadowy government figures, should know about. She knows about intimate conversations that happened on Vormir. So if she's, I think the idea is that she just has some connections that people should not have. And Val does have an important role in the Secret Invasion event. And there's a prelude Nick Fury storyline where he tracks Val and realizes that the Val he thought he was with was shapeshifted back into a Skrull in that moment. I don't know if that's the direction. It seems like they could go in like 6 different directions with Val still. We still don't know much about her. Yeah. But what do you think, MT?
I mean, I think that Val could have a connection to the Skrulls in the way that she probably saw them coming. I have this weird suspicion that Val is using the Project Insight algorithm from Winter Soldier to sort of eliminate people on the way. And I think that with that algorithm, she's just like, all right, Skrulls are on the board and they're probably infiltrating. I feel like Val and her people foresee the Secret Invasion thing happening. And so like they're putting their people in place. It's like, all right, there's not going to be a need for Captain America because people don't trust Captain America and the Avengers anymore. So now we're going to make the Thunderbolts because these are our people and they're safe and they're verified. So I think that she just knows that it's coming. She has the intel of the Skrulls coming in the 90s. And so she's just like, all right, we're ready for the big news to break out because people fear things that they don't understand. And when the people see the Skrulls, they're going to be like, oh no, all these aliens are infiltrating our planet. And so we have to fight against them. And so they're sort of orchestrating this like, this pushback, this narrative against the Skrulls on a world stage.
That'd be interesting that Val might use this Secret Invasion to stir even more misinformation out there and to play her levers of power in a way that like turn people against each other. She releases like fake dossiers out there or fake propaganda that says such and such might be a Skrull, but they're not. Or she might kind of like, you know, during the McCarthy hearings, out people for being Skrulls and hold these big trials or something like that, you know, or set up someone else to hold trials.
She just like uses Sharpie to draw like a weird chin on a Hulk, and he's like, "Oh look, Hulk's a Skrull." I knew it.
Now I'm kind of looking at the Secret Invasion cast and wondering who among them or what other MCU character might be that kind of government blowhard. And Christopher McDonald's going to be in the show, aka Shooter McGavin. This guy's such a great character actor. He was in Hacks on HBO Max. He's such a fantastic actor. I wonder if he might be playing like a government figure, like a senator who's like, I have a list of known Skrulls in the government, and we'll get to the bottom of all of them. Like,
I found this on GeoCities.
Hold on, it's stop matrix printer, so I gotta just tear off the perforated sides. Okay, one moment. Oh, it tore into the paper. I hate it when that happens. Yeah. But this guy's great. I mean, this cast, guys, I just can't get over how much I love everyone in this cast. It's not just like, oh, they cast that one action actor who did stunts in that movie. I'm not saying that I'm hating on all stunt. I think most stunt actors usually surprise you with how good of actors they are. But I'm just saying, like, these are all actors that have like either been part of the Oscars conversation or have won Oscars before, and that's exciting. Usually, just have one of those in these shows. So the fact that we have so many, it's like, I'm so excited.
Emmy Bates.
But the question we want to ask, why does Nick Fury no longer wear his eye patch on this show? Or why does he no longer shave? Why is he doing this Thor Ragnarok Odin deleted scene look that he seems to be having? We are definitely going to talk about that. But first, we want to thank our friends at Peloton for sponsoring this episode. You'd get bored watching the same thing on TV every day. You'd get just as bored doing the same workout over and over again, right? Well, Peloton is adding a ton of new and exciting classes to their app to keep you motivated to work out. Peloton has a workout for every goal, every day, every mood. De-stress from a long day with 30 minutes of strength and 20 minutes of cardio, or do a quick 15-minute total body class before work. Stay motivated while having fun with bike workouts, yoga, meditation, dance, cardio, and more. They even have some cool new boxing classes. Peloton is adding fun new artist series classes as well. Work out to the music of a single artist for an entire class. From pop and rock to hip hop to EDM, there are over 100 artist series to choose from. And for a limited time, try the Peloton app free for 2 months, then $12.99 a month after that. New members only. Visit onepeloton.com/app to learn more. That's 2 months free at onepeloton.com. Offer expires January 31st, 2022. Terms apply. We also want to thank our friends at Stance Socks for sponsoring this episode. I've got some Stance socks in my sock drawer, or in one of my socks boxes.
Socks box.
I'm just always happy to put these on my feet. They feel so great. We know they make the best socks in the biz, and now they're bringing color, comfort, and creativity from toe to head with the launch of their all-new active apparel line. Stance has a super soft line of sweatpants and joggers, shirts and hoodies, and more that are stylish enough to wear out and about. They're available in a full range of fits, prints, and fabrics. I think the coolest part of Stance's apparel is all of their collaborations. You can wear your Nightmare Before Christmas hoodie, or your Wu-Tang Clan sweatpants, or Darth Vader socks. Mix it all up. It's awesome. Stance's philosophy is that you should never have to sacrifice your own individual style for the sake of comfort. And now you don't have to. Whether you're relaxing around the house, working out at the gym, or running all over town, Stance now delivers its signature softness and creativity in a full line of active apparel styles from toe to head. Stance has got you covered. Head on over to stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code MARVEL at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance, stitched different. All right, MT, I wanted to ask you the question, why the flirkin does Nick Fury no longer wear his eye patch in Secret Invasion, do you think?
That's the big question, man, because every time we've seen Nick Fury, he's usually wearing his eye patch, unless it's the end of, The Winter Soldier and he's rocking the sunglasses look. But I think that, given that Secret Invasion is going to be dealing with a lot of Skrulls and, a lot of like evil Skrull or antagonist Skrulls to Nick Fury, I honestly think that this could be a power move. It's like, hey, check this out. Flurkin, scratch my eyeball. You don't want to mess with me, bro. All right? I have a wound from a dangerous creature. And since the Skrulls fear the Flurkins, they're like, oh my God, like this guy's for real. Like he survived. He probably killed the Flurkin with his bare hands. How did he do that? He's legitimate. So I think it could be like a scare tactic, honestly. Just because he's just a normal man dealing with all these, superhuman, not superhuman, extraterrestrial, technologies and entities. So like he has to have a one up. He has to scare these people that don't know that Nick Fury is a one to be feared. So I think that could be a reason there. But it also could be Talos, because like just implying that like I can see through my eyes. This is just a little disguise.
Well, I think you're onto a couple good things there. First off, this is a new era of Nick Fury. He's not the Avengers era of Nick Fury anymore. He's a Nick Fury who might be trying to either scare people or win over the public. Though I think he looks scarier now than he did before. But I'm wondering if he has a Skrull. Now, we know Skrulls can impersonate clothes, right? That's a simple enough thing. They can shapeshift their molecular structure around to just wear whatever you're wearing, and that includes an eye patch. But I wonder if now Nick Fury, this could be like a little plot point, that he has a new eye patch designed by the good Skrulls or whoever his tech-savvy friends are, so that it cannot be duplicated. And that's how you know there's the only Nick Fury. He has this one particular eye patch that is impossible to be duplicated. But not everyone in the world knows that yet. So you have another Skrull who's back on Earth who is impersonating him as like a crazy rambling conspiracy theorist who never shaves and lives up in the woods and is screaming things. And he's like, you thought I was dead, but I'm not. I'm still alive. And the world is filled with Skrulls. And then so the bad Skrulls, I'm still imagining two different camps of Skrulls, good ones and bad ones. The bad ones might have like kidnapped him or something, but they can't extract his eye patch, or they can't remove it, and they're pissed off about that. So they just send another one to impersonate him as an insane lunatic. And that just sows information, so no one knows who to trust at that point. So this version of Fury that we see, who's bearded without the eye patch, is a Skrull impersonator, but not the good kind that Talos was.
Oh, okay. Just like an evil
That's
Nick
my
Fury.
theory.
That would be pretty. I would love to see just an antagonist, or just like a crazier version of Nick Fury in general. Just like something just to see like Samuel Jackson just give us like subvert expectations for what we know Nick Fury to be like, just through a Skrull performance.
Yeah, I think that might be a reason why they're getting so many great actors in the show, is at some point, even if they're human, they're going to get impersonated by a Skrull, and they're going to need to play those different identities, which is one of the fun things that, I think was unappreciated from Captain Marvel, how often characters were revealed to be Skrulls, and then those actors got to be a little shady for a few scenes. Clark Gregg, right? Didn't he? Yeah, he was impersonated by a Skrull and got to have a bit of fun with that. I thought that was great.
You tried to murder Nick Fury.
He did. A little question that we never got answered coming out of Loki. What was the violation of that variant Skrull that we saw in the TVA check-in desk in the Loki episode 1?
Well, isn't there like an unaccounted for Skrull from Captain Marvel?
There's a fourth Skrull that we never caught up with.
Maybe what if that's like the MCU's way of just being like, oh, we got him. There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Like it was like a mistake on Marvel Studios. Like, oh, whoops, we forgot the Skrull. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. We picked him up. That would be hilarious. I would love that. But he is wearing like a tracksuit, isn't he? Like a little tracksuit type deal. So maybe.
Yes, he is.
Maybe he's part of the tracksuit mafia. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe. I think the reason I find this question interesting is the reason he's in that lobby is whatever he did was considered a violation in the eyes of the TVA. So some Skrull stepped in the wrong part of the timeline. And so that would be Marvel's suggestion, if this was that fourth Skrull who got away, that this Skrull's escape or something else he did later in his life was considered off the script of the sacred timeline in some interesting way. Like, we don't know how much of the TVA's logic to trust, because we had what Miss Minutes told us, we had what other characters told us, and then we had what Kang, or the Kang variant, told us at the end. So we don't know if it was just like they did something consciously or unconsciously, or if like Loki was targeted more than your average variant was. We don't know how much of that was true by the end of it. And I think that ultimately characters who were detained were ones who like really went out of step with what seemed to be fated for themselves, that they made some crazy choice. It wasn't just like, oh, I decided to get a skinny latte today. I think they had to have done something pretty dastardly. Everyone there seemed to be like Now, the counter argument there would be Sylvie, right? Sylvie was just playing with her toys. We don't know what she did before she was playing with those toys. Maybe she pushed a man off a ledge and said, I'm going to be king one day.
Give me them toys.
Give me those toys. No, was it just playing with toys? Was it her very existence? I think that was the implication, right? By the end, Sylvie was like, I didn't do anything. Just my very existence was considered expungible from reality, from all of realities. So I think this Skrull, I would love if like there was something in particular he did. Like maybe this was like the assassin Skrull that started a huge conflict between the Kree and the Skrull, even though that was ancient. He's wearing a tracksuit now. Maybe this was one who like threw a Molotov cocktail, right? If he is a tracksuit guy, but that one sparked a war to where the United States government became aware of the existence of Skrulls. So the TVA is trying to just prune him, so there's no knowledge of the secret invasion on Earth because that's too destabilizing of the status quo.
That'd be interesting. I like that, actually.
The last question I want to ask you as we wrap up our Skrull conversation today, MT, that WandaVision post-credit scene, we all got overwhelmed by that second post-credit scene, Wanda with the Darkhold, of course, but there was that first one with the freaking Skrull recruiting Monica Rambeau to go visit someone up in the sky. Now, we assume that was Nick Fury, but could it have been someone else? Could it have been her Skrull leader, played by Kingsley Ben-Adir?
Maybe. I think that, it could be in reference to any, because like Nick Fury is obviously not the only Skrull that Monica came, or person of interest that Monica came in contact with during the events of Captain Marvel. I think Kingsley Ben-Adir could actually be playing Nick Fury's son, who is revealed as a Skrull, and Nick Fury's like, "Where's my son? Why'd you take my son?"
So you saying Nick Fury had a relationship with a Skrull posing as a human, and that their child was a Skrull?
Maybe, or possibly that his son was taken by the Skrulls and was replaced by a Skrull imposter to try to get to Nick Fury, to try to kill him. To obviously an evil Skrull, not a good Skrull. To try to kill Nick Fury because he's trying to advance an agenda that they don't really care about. So I think that he might be playing that in particular. But I think in terms of the that link, there's also Talos' daughter. Like there's this huge, I feel like there's this teaser in Captain Marvel 1 that kind of leaves Talos' daughter with like, ooh, is violence okay? I just saw my dad kill somebody in the name of violence. So I think that maybe it could be Talos' daughter. It's like, hey, come on up. I miss you, buddy old pal, because they would probably be the same age at that point.
What I think is Talos' daughter is going to be Varanki, and that like Talos is like, look, I lost touch with my daughter. She's out of control. I can't talk to her. I can't. They're like, you have to talk to her. She's gonna destroy the status quo peace. So it's gonna make it personal, right? She splits away from her dad, and Talos represents the older generation of just like Cold War peace. Give peace a chance. Skrulls, cooperation's better than war. And she's like, no, screw that. It hasn't done anything for us. We're still refugees helping out these humans for no reason. Let's blow it all up and burn it down. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be Emilia Clarke as Varanki. And he's like, I can't talk to her. She's just out of control. She's flown off the handle. Have you tried having a daughter? She's out of control.
Bro, that's pretty damn. That's a great Ben Mendelsohn, bro.
Ben Skrulderson, I think maybe.
Ben Skrulderson. We should just call him Ben Skrulderson.
But I think that's where things are headed. I think you're right. I think that daughter's going to come back. That little moment in Captain Marvel, I think, was the first start of like she looked at that Kree getting shot, and she's like, "Why don't we do this to everyone?" Right. Like I think her playing Uno, and that's just like a clue. She's like, "I'm going to what's it called? Where you reverse it? Like she's reversing this ship. She's playing the reverse card in Uno.
Reverse Uno.
And she's going to burn it down." And I love the idea of her being like Talos' daughter. I love the idea of Nick Fury having a family. I think that's great. Like kind of like this Men in Black Tommy Lee Jones character kind of thing. He had a relationship with one of these aliens he met, and he loves her. And it's beautiful. But that is it for this episode of Inside Marvel. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Secret Invasion a lot more in the months ahead. But don't forget to check out our many great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow MT at MasterTainment. Subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for watching. And we know which of you are Skrulls, but we won't out yet.
We have a list. We printed it out. We checked it twice. All right, goodbye. We love you. Bye.